Thank you for joining us for this episode of Meet the Mesothelioma Experts with MRHFM. My name is Brian Lepasic, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Mesothelioma Applied Research Foundation. Today, I'm sitting down with Dawn Besserman and David Amell, partners in the law firm of MRHFM, to learn more about MRHFM's commitment to the mesothelioma community and to address some of the most common questions meso patients and their families have regarding legal processes. These types of questions fall out of our area of expertise as a foundation, so we turn to experts in their field to provide you with this resource. Dawn and David, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me today, and thank you for being such loyal sponsors and friends of the Meso Foundation.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Brian. On behalf of MRHFM, I first want to express our sincere gratitude to the Foundation for giving us the opportunity today to speak with the mesothelioma patients and their families that turned to the Foundation for guidance after receiving this really difficult, horrible diagnosis.
Before we dive into the legal process questions, I want to get to know a little bit more about MRHFM and your work within the meso community. Dawn, why does MRHFM choose to sponsor the Meso Foundation, and what about our mission really resonates with you?
Thanks, Brian. MRHFM is proud to support the Foundation because we share the same mission and values. Like the Foundation, MRHFM is exclusively focused on assisting mesothelioma patients and their families. Our resources and the efforts of each of our nurses, attorneys, investigators, and staff are solely dedicated to assisting mesothelioma patients. Similarly, the Foundation is a singularly focused organization and a real leader in providing patients with the best and most current information pertaining to medical resources and breakthroughs in treatment for mesothelioma. At MRHFM, we also want to ensure that our clients have access to the highest quality medical resources, as well as the information concerning gold standard medical facilities and doctors. We really want to ensure that our clients have access to the most innovative breakthrough technology when it comes to treating this disease. And it is part of our mission, like the Foundation's, to provide information and access to patients. We focus both on providing information and access with respect to the medical and the legal resources. And because of that, we support the Foundation and stand behind our Meso Care promise with our dedicated staff. One of the things that we guarantee to our clients is a Meso Care promise, which is a reflection of our comprehensive approach to helping clients. We focus on providing support through nurses who will help clients understand medical treatment options, and we will help them find medical specialists where they live who can help them. We also provide legal assistance and help obtaining the compensation that is available to patients who have been diagnosed with this terrible illness. We understand that a mesothelioma diagnosis is overwhelming, but patients don't have to go through it alone. Both the Foundation and MRHFM are here to support patients and their families as they navigate the medical, emotional, and legal issues that follow a diagnosis.
Thank you, Dawn. David, is there anything else you'd like to add about how MRHFM works within the meso community?
Yeah, just briefly, working with and supporting the broader mesothelioma community is incredibly important to our firm and to our clients. Many of us, myself, Dawn, the lawyers in our firm, we've been representing patients with mesothelioma for decades. We know how horrible this diagnosis is and the impact that a mesothelioma diagnosis has not only on our clients, but also on their families. It can be a very isolating experience receiving this diagnosis. Engagement with the mesothelioma community is key to making sure that our clients can get to the needed care that they have to get and the treatment that they need. We feel that it's not just enough to provide the representation in the courtroom. And Dawn talked a bit about the MesoCare promise. And what we mean by that, just to echo that sentiment, is that we provide a team to a holistic team-based approach to representing our clients. And that's not just in the courtroom, but as an organization, our goal is to provide our clients with the best legal representation, but also to help ensure that they get access to the best information and treatment and care options. Coordination with MARF and the resources from MARF are critical to our team, including the nurses that we employ to help with our clients get to the care that they need. Coordination with MARF is critical to providing that information to our clients.
David, thank you so much for that background information. I really appreciate that, and I know our viewers appreciate getting a fuller understanding of how MRHFM supports the meso community. Let's dive into some of our questions. David, how urgent is it for a patient to seek legal representation?
Incredibly urgent. A mesothelioma diagnosis is a bombshell. Everything that goes along with the diagnosis, trying to understand medical care, navigate insurance, concerns about payment of insurance, worries about the impact on your family. This can all feel very overwhelming. And it can be tempting to delay seeking legal representation. But it is important, incredibly important, for mesothelioma patients to seek legal representation early, as soon as they've been diagnosed. Involving a law firm solely dedicated to assisting mesothelioma patients helps eliminate stresses associated with medical costs, bills, and provides the comfort of knowing that there will be financial recovery.
Thank you, David. Dawn, what factors should a patient consider when selecting a legal representation?
Brian, there are several factors that every patient should consider when selecting legal representation. First, it is absolutely critical that a patient turn to a law firm who is exclusive to representing mesothelioma patients and their families. At MRHFM, mesothelioma is all we do. That exclusivity allows us to focus solely on these types of cases, and as a result, our attorneys and our investigators have the level of experience and dedication that is needed to successfully handle these claims. Knowledge, experience, and specialization really do matter in this field. This is as true with legal representation as it is with choosing a medical care provider. It's vital that patients hire an attorney who knows this area of law better than anything else. Truly, experience is the bedrock of success in pursuing these claims. Another factor that patients should consider when hiring a law firm to represent them is the geographic scope and the size of a law firm. This is a very important consideration. For instance, our firm, MRHFM, is a national law firm, but also we have a local presence. We have 12 offices throughout the country with over 80 attorneys and more than 35 investigators. As a result, we can pursue claims where it is most advantageous for the patient, not based on the ease or convenience of the law firm. This is extremely important when considering hiring a prospective attorney. The patient needs to consider, is this prospective attorney going to pursue claims in a jurisdiction where the attorney is located? Or are they going to pursue claims in the jurisdiction or jurisdictions that will allow for the most favorable result for the patient? And that's why it's important to look at the geographic scope of the law firm's practice when choosing legal representation. This is one example where the resources of a national law firm really benefits clients. And because of the structure of our firm, for instance, we are equipped to handle cases in jurisdictions and are familiar with the local rules, judges, attorneys, claims handling processes throughout the country, which really ensures seamless handling of a patient's case. We can pursue claims in multiple jurisdictions, which is sometimes required by the facts of an individual's case. I can give you one example right now. I work out of our Florida office while Dave works out of one of our California offices. We currently share representation of one client who spent her life both in Florida and California where she had exposures. And because of our national presence, it is very easy for us to file claims that need to be filed in Florida, as well as file the claims that need to be filed in California. And we're able to handle her entire case for her. Another factor that's important for patients to consider when choosing legal representation is whether the prospective law firm that they're speaking with is actually going to work on the case, or whether that firm is going to, for a fee, refer the client's case to another law firm who will actually handle the claims. There are a number of firms that advertise for handling mesothelioma cases, but they simply refer the cases out to another firm. So it's very important when speaking with a potential law firm that the patient understands who they are hiring, and they must ask the attorneys with whom they are speaking who is actually going to be working on their case, where are those attorneys located, and where are they licensed to practice.
Dawn, thank you so much for that wonderful explanation, and that example I think really helped clarify your points for our viewers. David, how does MRHFM determine a patient's exposure to asbestos?
That's a good question, Brian. To start, we don't expect that our clients know each and every place where they're exposed to asbestos. In fact, many of our clients don't even know that they were exposed to asbestos. That's where really the expertise of a dedicated law firm that has years of experience assisting mesothelioma patients comes into play. We utilize vast resources and experience throughout the country to investigate and determine all exposures to asbestos. There's no safe level of exposure to asbestos, so all of the exposures contributed to causing this terrible disease. Our investigators and attorneys will leave no stone unturned. We have successfully helped numerous patients who have come to us with no idea how they're exposed to asbestos. By way of an example, we recently had a case of an art teacher, a woman who's taught art and who made collages using watercolors. She had no idea where she was exposed to asbestos. It turned out, and we discovered through investigation, that the watercolor paper that she was using for years in making collages was an asbestos-containing watercolor paper. Very few people would know that, but through the investigation and the determination to find recovery, to find where this client was exposed, we were able to get her a substantial financial recovery.
David, that is an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that. Dawn, what can patients expect when working with MRHFM?
As Dave just discussed, patients can expect their case will receive thorough investigation by a dedicated team. That team will explore all avenues of recovery available to a patient. This includes trust claim recovery, civil claim recovery, military service VA disability benefits. There are a number of resources and avenues of compensation that we as a law firm will pursue on behalf of a client. As a national law firm whose attorneys and investigators have decades of experience in developing the evidence needed to successfully pursue claims on behalf of mesothelioma patients, we have accumulated significant resources and the know-how which allows us to fully investigate claims. We maintain a database of millions of documents and prior deposition testimony and trial testimony from other previous claims that will assist in the investigation of a current client's claims. As Dave mentioned, we will thoroughly investigate the case and leave no stone unturned. We will identify witnesses. We will conduct research, including public record searches. We'll visit libraries, review decades-old phone books, city directories, newspaper archives, all of the resources that we can find that will help us evaluate and determine how a person was exposed to asbestos and if we can pursue a claim related to that exposure. From the outset, a patient's case will be assigned to an investigator and an attorney who will oversee their entire case and develop evidence to support claims that we can pursue on their behalf. Our firm has a trust claims department that is dedicated to pursuing all available compensation from the established trust funds. There are currently over 60 trusts that have been established for mesothelioma victims and their families, and we will explore the potential for submitting a claim to all of the trusts for which a patient may qualify. In addition to the trust claims process, our attorneys and investigators will pursue civil claims on your behalf for claims related to products, manufacturers, landowners, and potentially employers and other companies who have not yet sought bankruptcy protection and can be pursued in the civil justice system. In addition to that, we also will pursue for our military veteran clients VA disability benefits when appropriate. We have dedicated professionals who are accredited by the VA to pursue compensation through the VA for military veterans. That is a complimentary service that we also provide to honor our military veterans. We do not take a fee on the VA claims. We do not take any portion of the benefits that our clients will receive from the VA. As I stated at the beginning, Brian, our mission really is aligned with the mission of the foundation, and that is to provide comprehensive and holistic help to patients and their families through this stressful and trying time. So beyond just the legal side and pursuing the claims and obtaining compensation for clients, we really do focus on the mental and emotional aspects that the client and their family is going through and provide support through identifying support groups, medical specialists, and others to help clients and their families so that they can process this very horrible diagnosis. What our second goal is to strive to minimize the time that patients and their families spend on the legal side of things, because we understand that patients really need to focus their time and energy on their medical treatment and being with their family. And that's what we want. We want patients to spend time taking care of themselves and enjoying precious moments with the people that they love, and leave the focus of the legal burden on us to pursue on their behalf. We will undertake every effort to obtain compensation for our clients as quickly as possible. And we do this for two reasons. One, so that the patients don't feel overwhelmed by the costs of medical care and treatment, and two, to provide patients and their families with peace of mind that they and their family will be financially secure.
Last October, MRHFM participated in a legal panel at our annual International Symposium on Malignant Mesothelioma in Chicago. I'd like to revisit a few of the questions posed to the panel by members of the community attending the symposium. One attendee posed the question, "My family member with mesothelioma has passed away. Is it too late for my family to receive legal help?" David, Dawn, your thoughts?
That's a good question. Following the death of a mesothelioma patient, surviving family members, such as a spouse or children, may pursue claims for wrongful death. In fact, we routinely provide legal support to families following the death of a loved one.
But it is incredibly important that you seek legal representation as soon as possible. That way, you can ensure that you're complying with any applicable statutes of limitations.
Another attendee asked us at the conference, "Do I have to pay taxes on compensation that I receive from litigation or trusts?"
The answer to that is no. Compensation received as a result of personal injury and wrongful death settlements that mesothelioma patients or their families receive are not subject to income taxation.
And finally, a question that is often asked, Isn't there just a big trust somewhere where people with mesothelioma can get compensation?
The answer is no, there is not. And there are some misleading advertisements out there that people see that make them believe that there is one big trust. The best way to seek compensation for our clients is through the civil court system. There are individual trusts that we access to obtain additional financial recovery for our clients, but there is not just one big trust.
And in fact, Brian, patients often qualify for settlements with numerous trusts, and that's why it's important to hire a law firm that is well versed in pursuing trust claims and has the experience and the resources to successfully pursue all of those claims that a client may qualify for. The number of claims that a patient may qualify for varies depending on that person's work and exposure history to asbestos. And that's why it's important that every patient pursue these claims with a law firm that has the experience and the resources to do the thorough investigation that is required to develop the evidence to successfully pursue those claims.
Is it possible to have mesothelioma but not have a case?
It's extremely unlikely that a patient with mesothelioma will not be able to pursue a claim or claims for financial compensation. Mesothelioma is a disease that is solely caused by exposure to asbestos. And what we do at MRHFM is try to uncover for the patients, if they're not aware of what those exposures are, exactly how they were exposed to asbestos so that we can make a determination as to what claims they do qualify for.
How do you determine who to sue or how to get compensation?
That's a good question. At MRHFM, one of our first steps is to spend time with our client and to really understand their work history, their residential history, and to obtain a full exposure history. Now, many clients may believe that they had an exposure at one location or the other, but what we seek to do and what is required under the law is to demonstrate that our client's exposure to asbestos was a substantial factor in contributing to their risk of developing mesothelioma. Our clients all have mesothelioma, so they are 100% at risk. And there is no safe level of exposure to asbestos. So that means that all of our clients' lifelong exposures to asbestos contributed to the risk of their developing this disease. What our goal is to identify defendants and entities that are responsible for causing those exposures to asbestos. This is typically manufacturers and suppliers of asbestos products, companies that were using asbestos products in our client's presence in a manner that is unsafe. For example, not using appropriate safeguards to ensure that they weren't exposing our clients, such as by using blowdown type of processes, and also to identify other less traditional means of exposure to asbestos. We have many clients who used cosmetic products that contain talc that was contaminated with asbestos. We have clients who perform brake work and remodel work with drywall joint compound in the 70s and 80s and into the 90s. We identify all these sources of exposure to asbestos, identify the defendants that are liable for those exposures to asbestos, and that is who we name in these cases.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that answer. And I think one of the final questions that we often hear out most in the community is, if I choose to pursue litigation, do I actually have to go to court?
There are, as I was saying earlier, multiple sources of compensation that we can pursue for patients. One of those is through the trust claims process. There are over 60 trusts that have been established that provide compensation to mesothelioma victims. Pursuing those types of claims is an administrative process that does not require any appearance in court ever. Court is never required to pursue that type of compensation. Similarly, if we are representing a military veteran who had exposures while during their service in the military, we can pursue disability benefits through the Veterans Affairs Administration. And that process likewise does not require ever any appearance in court. Now, if we do pursue claims in civil court on behalf of clients, there is the possibility that if we are not able to resolve through settlement with one or more of the entities that we have named in those claims prior to trial, that a client may need to appear in court. But at the end of the day, Brian, the client is always in charge of their case. We can pursue civil claims against a multitude of entities, and during that process, we routinely settle with all or almost all of those companies without the client ever having to set foot inside of a courtroom. It is only if, after extensive discovery and litigation, that a defendant refuses to pay fair value to the client, that we'll have a conversation with the client about potentially pursuing their claim against that entity all the way through trial. But ultimately, it's completely up to the patient and their family as to whether they want to pursue a claim all the way through trial. So the short answer is no. Clients are not required to go to court in order to receive compensation.
And just to add to that a little bit, we always work up our cases and our clients' cases as if they are going to verdicts in front of a jury. But as Dawn mentioned, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will, but by working up our cases, being ready for trial, being ready for a jury trial, we ensure that the defendants pay top dollar in settlement value.
David Amell and Dawn Besserman, I'd like to thank you both for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Your support and dedication to helping mesothelioma patients navigate these challenging times is invaluable to us.
Thank you so much, Brian, for this opportunity and allowing us to educate mesothelioma patients about the help that we can provide them and their families. It really is so important that patients understand these issues as early as possible following diagnosis so that they can act quickly to secure the compensation and the medical care that they deserve.
And thank you, Brian and Marv, for the important work that you do on behalf of our clients and our patients.
And Brian, our firm remains committed to supporting mesothelioma patients and their families, which is why we are proud to sponsor the foundation, which does such a wonderful job of supporting patients and families through patient education, support, and research. Thank you again for inviting us here today. We look forward to our continued partnership with the foundation. Thank you, Brian.
And that concludes this episode of Meet the Mesothelioma Experts. Thank you all for watching, and please visit our website at curemeso.org for more valuable resources for patients and their families, as well as information from experts in their field.